Welcome to episode 1274 of JAG. No. Welcome to another episode of JAG U. I'm here with my good friend Nina. How are you doing today, Nina?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing fantastic. Splendid, as they would say. Also, my name is Donte Harris. I work here at JAG, powered by Hub. And so we're going to be sitting here talking about teamwork. I hear it makes the dream work, eh?
I've heard that too. I think it's a really cheesy saying.
It's my favorite saying.
Is it really?
I actually have the dream team on my phone background.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay.
I know. It's been there, I would say, since like 2007.
Oh, wow.
I haven't changed it.
Oh my gosh, I change it all the time. I'm very indecisive on my
Do you
phone
really?
background. Yeah, I need help from you on that.
Just pick a picture that like means a lot to you. Like teamwork
makes the dream work.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. Right now it's diamonds. I'll get rid of the diamonds. We'll do teamwork.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
They are. I enjoy them a lot.
There you go. So, okay, we're going to get off topic. But
Totally.
so we're going to talk about teamwork.
Yeah.
And you work in real estate.
I do.
And so tell me a little bit about how you got into real estate and what you do.
So I got into real estate. I mean, my stories are always long, so I'll cut them short. But I got into real estate about 8 years ago. I used to be an attorney and worked in the consulting world for big law firms. But I just didn't like it.
Okay.
And I ended up meeting and marrying a guy who's one of the top brokers in Miami. So
There you
he
go.
introduced me to real estate sort of by accident, and I fell in love with it. I actually divorced him, but I'm still in love with real estate, so it was meant to be. And yeah, I just realized that I love interior design. I love being around people. I find this city really exciting and dynamic. So being able to dig into all the new buildings that are going up and neighborhoods changing, it's just really cool. So I love real estate, and luckily I've been able to take a lot of the experience that I had from not so much being strictly an attorney, which is what I did in Australia, but from the consulting world, where I did a lot of building teams and managing projects.
Yeah.
So what I realized from that is that when you're a realtor, you're actually kind of the project manager of somebody's transaction. So say you're my client, you come to me, you're like, I want to buy a condo. You don't realize behind the scenes that I'm actually pulling together a team and kind of overseeing that throughout the process, because it usually takes about 30 days to get from contract to closing. And over those 30 days, I'm the project manager of your project. You don't know that. You're living your life. You're, enjoying.
I do know that because I'm the insurance guy on that team, right?
Okay, but you're the theoretical client right now.
Oh, okay. So what you're basically saying is, to make things easy or simple for your clients, what you do is you have a team that's constructed by you with people who you've obviously built rapport with, people you trust, and people that will get the job done.
Exactly.
So who are the people, like who are your starting five, I guess? Like what's the team look like?
So the team is, if they're getting a loan, then they have to they need to have the right lender working for them. And the reason for that is that in this market, especially because I specialize in condos and they're kind of complicated. So if you're going to buy a single family home, it's pretty straightforward. As long as you have money, you can get a loan.
Okay. Makes sense. You got
pretty
that?
easy.
If you got money,
you can get a house.
You can get a home. Easy.
Done.
That was, wow.
I mean,
you don't even have to pay for this stuff.
You do have to pay for it, but
no, this content.
the content. Content is free.
This is the free stuff right
it's
here.
Free. But if you're buying a condo, what makes it more complicated is they have to, or they being the lender, has to approve the building.
Okay.
So a building, and I find this actually really interesting, it's kind of like a living creature all of its own. It's run by, a team of, board of directors that are owners.
Board
and
of directors, property management company,
exactly, all these,
staff.
So it's like a living organism. And if that organism is healthy and it has money in the bank itself and it doesn't have litigation against it, no one's, got any problems with it, then it's going to be easy for you to get a loan.
Okay.
If that's not the case, then it can be very, very difficult.
Okay.
There are lenders, and we were just talking about this before, who will lend on some of those more difficult buildings, but then it's up to somebody like me to find that person for you. Because if you just go to your local banker and ask them to help you out, it's just something that's...
They want stuff that's vanilla.
They want vanilla. I don't like vanilla, but that's another question or
I'm a
conversation.
Chocolate. I love chocolate.
Yeah, definitely, me too. But yeah, so you need somebody like me initially. So part of having the right team is actually having the right realtor.
Yeah.
We can talk about that. So somebody like me that can say, hey, this is the guy that I usually use. He's really good, but because there's litigation in your building, we're going to have to go over here. Of course, the client asks, like what you asked, what's the litigation about? Is it a problem? Do I even want to buy in the building?
Right.
I need to walk you through all of
So
that.
as soon as I hear the word litigation, the first thing I'm thinking about is, unfortunately, like someone had bodily injury.
Yeah. And 99 times out of 100 is nothing bad. It's just standard construction litigation, because when you build a 50-plus story building, there's going to be a crack in the cement or a tile somewhere.
Yep.
And the association is going to sue the developer. It's just standard practice.
Happens
There's
all the
nothing
time.
wrong with it. Yeah. So there's a lot of complexities with condos. So you
Okay.
do need to have, obviously, a realtor that gets it.
Yep. So we started at the top of the Christmas tree, and we got
yeah.
the realtor, and then we're moving down, and we have
The lender is usually the
lender.
second person that gets brought into the team. Then the third person is usually the inspector.
Okay.
And that has to be somebody that's also knowledgeable, that I trust to not miss anything when
And
they're
has a
looking.
license.
Yep. I think they pretty much all have to have a license, but yes. But just for me, I want that peace of mind to know that my clients are protected, that this
Right.
person's going to really find any
That they're
problems.
going to look
there
for
are.
everything. They're not going to leave any stone unturned.
Exactly.
necessarily.
And if there's something, that is wrong, they're going to be able to give some reasonable advice on it and sort of walk my clients through that. So that's the third person, assuming that I'm number one. I'm number one. So that's the third person. And then typically, there is an appraiser. We don't get to choose or have a lot of involvement with kind of selecting that person. I do work with them closely to make sure they understand the comps in the building in the area.
Okay.
But I don't get to choose that person. But having the right lender actually does play into that, because if you work with a lender that works with good appraisers, then you're not going to have problems in this market, which is very much an upward market, and that's challenging to appraise on, of course.
There's a whole other episode on that.
Yeah, we can definitely go into all of that, because actually one of the things I did want to talk about today, and I think we may run out of time, is some strategies on beating the market. And one of them is having a lender that has appraisers that understand a market like this and are going to be able to ensure that you can get your loan and not have problems with paying a huge gap that you may or may not have cash to come up with.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal. These things sound like they're nothing, but these little details are huge.
A bunch of little details can add up to be one big problem.
Yeah, definitely. So that's kind of the fourth person, sort of soft inclusion on that one. And then the fifth is actually you.
Okay, I was waiting.
You
I'm just sitting
where
here
do
waiting.
I come in?
When is the insurance
I'm sorry.
guy?
Just
or
timing.
gal?
It's timing. It's
Yeah.
not on the list of priorities.
No,
It's not.
I take no offense,
Yeah.
because honestly, the insurance person is typically the last person that gets added to the piece of the pie, or to the pot. But here's my thing: as an insurance
Tell me,
person,
what's your thing?
being on this side of the fence,
Yeah.
right? The insurance person is the person who deals with the client every single year,
Yeah.
even after the sale goes through
Right.
and after everything.
Yeah.
So we should be the first person on it. Obviously, the real estate agent, you win. You're at the top of the Christmas tree, but then the insurance agent should
Yeah.
be brought in pretty early, because with the inspection and everything, I can tell you, hey, this is going to be an issue to insure, or this is what we need to find out on the inspection report. If you're
really?
going to buy a condo and it has a
Yeah.
hot water tank,
Yeah.
most carriers don't want a hot water tank that's 15 years or older. So
really?
they will not write it. And so that's how you have an increase in, say, $1,000, maybe $2,000 in your premium, just because your water tank is 16 years old, right?
Wow.
But if it were replaced and you had the seller replace it prior to going under contract, then that gives you a better premium.
That's interesting. These conversations, we can definitely I want to be
Absolutely.
educated on this. From a real estate perspective, we obviously don't want a situation where someone it's going to cause conflict.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that the contracts are written in Florida is that they're as is. So we don't have a right to ask the seller for anything.
That's fair. But I'm putting you up on free game right now.
What does free game mean? Is that an American thing?
It's I'm putting you up on game. Let me school you to this.
No, yeah.
And it's free.
And I definitely...
So it's free game.
Oh, got it. I like it. I think it's super helpful information. And just as a question to you as well, would you like to see...
Hit me with it.
Would you like to see the inspection report once that comes in? Is that helpful to you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's one of the first things I request. I request the wind mitigation report for the building,
Yeah.
and then a unit inspection, because the unit inspection form or report is going to show us if there are any outstanding issues with that space or that property, because most carriers won't write if there's an ongoing issue. Let's say this person who's buying it, they don't have an open claim, but the seller had a claim for water damage 6 months prior, and they still hadn't gotten it fixed. If you're buying it as is, and you didn't do an inspection report, you're not going to know about that water damage claim. They're not going to tell you, more than likely.
Wow, this is great information for me. Thank you.
Of
I
course.
appreciate it.
This is why you come to JAG.
I'm getting schooled at university. That makes sense. This is good.
Okay, so the team.
The team.
Real estate agent,
Yeah.
A1. Then you got your lender.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you have the right lender because they can put you in contact with the right appraiser, and then you're going to help them out with an inspector. And then once you have your inspector and everything comes in, then you add the insurance agent.
Yeah, and I'm glad that I'm going to obviously loop you in a lot earlier on stuff. But speaking of which, like, we've obviously worked with clients before, and you're right. I love that you build relationships with my clients because that makes them.
I'm a relationship builder.
That makes them love me more too because they like you so much, and they remember that I referred you. So it all helps.
My job, honestly, and as the insurance agent, I've told this to so many real estate agents and mortgage brokers and lenders that I work with. You are the ice cream to the sundae. I'm just the whipped cream, or like I'm the pineapple or the cherry on top. Like, I'll never be the main dish or the main thing in this ice cream sundae. But I will compliment you, and I will make it a much better experience for anyone that you work with.
Right. And I think the fact that you stay in touch too is great because,
Oh, you talking about Raquel? That's my girl.
I know, we love her so much. But just in general, and I do want to talk about Raquel, but like, for realtors, there's always this kind of pressure to keep in front of our clients, make sure they don't forget us so that when they have someone to refer or they do want to sell the property, that we sold them, that they remember us. And I feel like you make that easier because you're sort of, they call them touches in the real estate world. You're supposed to give, I think, Keller Williams, I think, says 24 a year or something.
24 touches a year. So
which
you're supposed
is
to make contact with your
extremely
clients.
difficult,
24.
yes.
How do you prospect for new ones?
Right. It's challenging. So I appreciate that you're reaching out to them too because I feel like they remember us as a team. And so you're kind of like doing part of that work for me.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Teams. That's what this is all about.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
And there you have it. She's finally bought in.
I'm on board.
There we go. Well, I appreciate you again for stopping by, being a part of this JAG U. Again, you got Nina Millman, luxury real estate. She takes nothing but penthouses and houses. And then you got Donte Harris over here. I insure just about everything in the world. Thanks so much again. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.